Alright, we're going to look at the triangle proportionality theorem. The triangle proportionality theorem basically states that if we've got a parallel line to one side of a triangle and it's intersecting the other two sides, then it's going to divide it into two sides proportionally. So in this one, we'll be looking at here. These two are going to be parallel lines. Since they're parallel lines, the middle line divides these two triangles into proportional triangles. So the red triangle will be proportional to the green triangle. And what that allows us to say is kind of a couple different things here. So we can create some proportions. We can say that AD over DB is going to be proportional to AE over EC. Now we're talking about this section over this section is proportional to this section over this section. What it also allows us to do is say that AD over AB will be proportional to AE over AC. Now this one's kind of saying the same thing, but not really. It's telling us that this section of the triangle is proportional to this whole section. This section is proportional to this whole section. So it allows us to kind of set it up in two different ways depending on how we want to solve here. And if I look at an example, I'll see I've got these two triangles that have a parallel between them. So I have created this triangle, which is going to be proportional to this triangle. And now we're going to be able to use that to solve for what x is. So we're going to start by setting a proportion. I can say that this 6 compared to, and I like to do the entire length, 6 compared to 8 is going to be equal to 9 here. Compared to this whole length, now this is where it gets a little tricky, this whole length would be 9, which would be good here, plus x. So I'm going to say 9, oops, it's a multiplication sign. I'm going to say that's going to be equal to 9 plus x here. So now once I have this set up, I can just set up an equation and solve. If I cross multiply, I'm going to get 9 times 8 gives me 72. And that's going to be equal to, if I cross multiply here, 6 times 9 is 54. 6 times x is 6x. Now I've got this down to an algebra problem. To solve the algebra problem, I have to get x alone. So I'm going to subtract 54 on both sides. 54 minus 54 is 0, so those cancel out. 72 minus 54, that's going to give me 18, so I will get 18 equals 6x. My last step here is divide both sides by 6. If I divide by 6 and I divide by, it's not liking it here, 6, okay, those two cancel out, and I will get x is equal to 3. If I go back up to my proportions, I know that 6 over 8 should be equal to 9 over 9 plus 3. I now know this bottom one is 12, so I should have 9 twelfths should be equal to 6 eighths. If I simplify that, I will get 3 fourths is equal to 3 fourths. I've got two proportions that are equal. That means I have in fact solved this problem.